Hey everyone, it's Nick with Us versus Her. Thanks so much for tuning in. If it's your first time here, hit the subscribe button. We go live half hour after market close, 3:30 p.m. Central, 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We're here again. Everyone's chatting it up. If you're not yet a member of our free options trading group, the link is below. Got a ton of people in here. Some people saying that they're just tuning into the audio. You know, whether you're watching or listening or whatever, I definitely want to just thank you. Thank you for tuning in day, out. You guys are just amazing. Like, it's amazing that you guys. It's amazing that you guys tune in and make it part of your regular routine. It really means a lot to me. FC, I got word my friend passed away. I was all shooked up. Didn't sell my GE, put it open. FC, sorry, man. Or a woman. I'm not sure if you're a male or female, so sorry to hear that. I mean, when it comes down to health and personal issues, I mean, trading can always come later, you know. Got to make sure. And then Richard's been, you know, battling the fires out there in Cali. So, you know, don't worry about the markets, guys. Just concentrate on yourself, your relationships, making sure you're safe, you know. Money will always come. Money will always come. It's not always about making money. I mean, obviously, if you're trading in the markets, you want to make money, but, you know, a lot of times that stuff can come secondary when you know, having issues, so. Worry about yourself. Worry about the people around you. That's what's most important. Jack, what's going on? JC, Crypto Slice, Tom, if you're here right now, say what up. If you got paid today, say got paid. If you lost money, comment learned a lesson. Lots of people still missing. Yeah, I know that a lot of you are from Cali. I'm in the Chicago area, so I'm not really familiar with or ever experienced a wildfire, but Farhan learned a lesson. Linda got paid small. Loading the good got paid on Alibaba. All our inflation data tomorrow. Chinese numbers tonight. Chinese numbers are probably going to disappoint. If I were to guess. I mean, I'm not saying that's true, what's going to happen, but Ahmed got paid by Netflix and MU. Ray Lee, what's going on? Lizandro, lesson learned. I lost a ton on AMD. Oh, man, I haven't traded AMD in a minute. Tobin made money today, got paid. Good. Recession is coming, guys. Get ready. Yeah, leaving money on the table, FC, Jack, leaving money, I leave so much money on the table, it's ridiculous, but, you know, it's what you need to do to become a profitable trader. Take your profits, but yeah, I mean, the video title today is The Bears Have Control of the Market, kind of going over that. I'll go over my trades real quick before we get into some of the technicals. Today I didn't close any positions. I'm down 123 per account. I was actually down close to 200. Then later in the day, I didn't actually start putting on trades until like 1 p.m. Central, so only about 2 hours before market close. And I actually missed market open today. I did buy USO. I don't know if it's easier over here to kind of go through my trades. Well, let's go in order here. Alibaba, I put a strangle on when it got rejected up in here. So I bought the 155 put. I bought the 155 call kind of as protection, and then I bought the 143 put, more of a bearish strangle. You know, I doubt it's going to break above 150. If it does, I guess we'll go that way. But I was thinking that it's going to kind of revisit the lower 140s, like the 142, 140 range was kind of like my target on Alibaba. And I guess like Oliver says, with the Chinese data will definitely be important on that. GE, I averaged down. I have November 30th $6 puts. I'll go over my thoughts on GE later. I'm just gonna go over my trades real quick because GE. I think everybody was talking about GE before the stream. And if I sound kind of nasally, it's because I'm fighting the cold. I'm not letting this cold take me. So I apologize. Dorian, what's going on? Man, 51 viewers. You guys are crazy. It's your first time here. Say what up. I'm trying to meet everybody. If you haven't said what up yet, say what up. We'll go over GE. So I had the November 30th GE puts. We'll go over more about GE. I bought them. I bought 20 of them. Let's see here. What did we buy? Okay, so on this account here, we bought 5 of them for 6 cents, 5 of them for 7 cents, and then I bought 10 more for 7 cents, and then I bought 10 more today for 4 cents. In all, I have 30 puts with an average of almost 6 cents, like a little bit more than 5.5 cents. So like 6 cents, we'll just say is my average on that. You know, like I said, guys, like my strategy right now in GE is just shorting the green days. You know, I know there was a lot of news related information today in regards to them selling some assets and stuff, but you know, it got sold off pretty hard after it hit 9. But we'll go over that in a minute. Liberty, what's going on? Jack, down 400. Sorry to hear, man. Eric missed the last few vids, very sad. Well, you can always revisit them. They're on the page. Lisandro, Eric, Brian K, Baron. Yeah, good to see all these people in here. You guys are Dallas. This community is great. USO. So I was talking about USO yesterday. Or we've been talking about it for like the last week because it's been going down. And my position on USO, I was saying that I haven't traded it because I felt like I missed the short, but every day it just keeps going down. So today I just hopped on board. I bought the November 30th 11 puts. Now I went small in this trade. I only bought 3 for 19 cents, so it's cost me like, you know, $60, $57, something like that. You know, so I went really small. You know, my hope for this is that we can kind of get a bounce and I could buy some more. But right now, this position is currently up. We're up $27 on this position, which I mean that's almost 50%. That's just pretty crazy since I put that trade on. And then Microsoft, I put another strangle on, 106 put, 109 call. And Microsoft, what I was thinking of, that it was going to either hit 110 again or we're going to go to like 105, 104 area was my goal on Microsoft. So that was a new trade that I did today. And I didn't take any trades off, mostly just kind of played some defense. I was gone for half the day, so I really just wanted to get some trades in there and kind of fight the market back. And thankfully that we got some cash back in. You know, like I said, we're down 120 on the day, which, I mean, it was like 200, so you know, we got some cash back, so I'm happy about that. You know, my position on FIT, like I told you guys yesterday, FIT, I think that it's a good position, but I just didn't give enough time for like a $5 stock to move the way that we wanted to move. You know, I think we're just gonna have to take max loss on that probably. I mean, we had actually you know, we're having some nice momentum here. I do think that we'll revisit like the 5s and probably have some sort of gap fill here, but I think it's gonna take longer than I originally thought. Jack has large calls in Apple. Oh man, we should fight that GE dude. Ahmed, USO was awesome today. Yeah, I wish I had a position on USO before, but only one guy in the plan said GE may be a buy, setting up yesterday. Yeah, I don't think, I know that some people in our option trading group were saying that GE was a buy, but I don't think, you know, personally, let's go to GE now. We'll talk about GE. You know, let's go to GE. looking at the long term, this is just the 1 year chart. We don't need, we could pull up more, but let's just look at the 1 year chart. This is not, this stock, this price is a reflection of a poor business. It's not a reflection of a business being run very well. There's a lot of that natural gas is mooning or booning. Buy GE between $5 and $6. Yeah, like I said, my target on GE is $5. Probably once it hits $5, I'll never trade it again. Like, I don't like to trade stocks that are like $1, $2, $3. Like, I typically don't like to trade stocks even under $10. Just because it seems like it's not worth it to me. Like Fords and stuff, I don't really trade. But GE has been in the last 2 weeks, I've netted about $2,500 on GE. I mean, even if my position on GE right now goes against me, like I got these 30 puts for November 30, even if they go against me, this has been a highly profitable run on GE. Namus Diev, I'm sorry, I botched that to death. Welcome to the live stream. Welcome to the EVH fam. JC, I'll make him bleed if my account. You guys are crazy. Linda, I was glad to pay less than $3.95 yesterday. Yeah, I mean, I guess the good news is gas. The oil is going to go down, but I don't think it's going to go up forever. Hoping to go to 50. Tilray after hours. Yeah, Tilray. Let's go back to GE before we get into Tilray. I didn't trade Tilray, but I'll give you my reasons why. But GE. So if you're looking at today, so they had some news today about them selling some businesses worth like $4 billion. That's like, in terms of obviously those are my opinions. In terms of GE, where it's heading. That's just, it's kind of like Sears. I don't want to bring up Sears because it brings up a lot of terrible things in the chat. But, Sears was selling off like their brands like Craftsman and all that, and it's just a Band-Aid for the inevitable. I mean, they gotta innovate, they gotta cut back their spending, they gotta pay off their debt. It's not going to turn around in a quarter. I mean, I think this is going to hit 5, maybe even lower, and we'll see. They might. I mean, I'm not saying they're going to go out of business, but I don't think they're going to stay where they're at in terms of GE. Gas has always gotten cheaper for the last few winters. Yeah. Yeah, around where I live, I mean, it ranges from 280 to 340. So I think we're kind of in the average for America. Joe, you're not banned. Nobody. I don't ban anybody. I don't filter anybody. If it's filtered, it's YouTube. I don't do anything. I know YouTube filters out links and bad language. Like, YouTube filters out bad language when you swear in the chat and stuff. But there's no settings that I did. So for USO, I'm thinking that it's probably going to go down to like the 11s or 10s. Now that we've kind of breached this area right here, doesn't look like to be signs of recovery. Someone doesn't like me spewing Gmail last 3. Joe, I don't know what to tell you. Julia, Baba calls worked awesome. Yeah, so for Baba's just been a strangle play for me. They've just been, since October, Baba's really been, or even September, Baba's been, I want to say, kind of like my bread and butter in this market, because they've been underpricing the options, and the moves have been way bigger than expected. So, and they haven't really, I mean, yes, options have gotten more expensive in this, but it's been moving a lot more. Oil is extremely oversold. I agree, but the now that I bought puts, it'll probably go back up. So there you go, guys. I bought $60 worth of puts. You're welcome. But kind of what I want to talk today before we get into your guys' trades is the Bears have taken control, and what I mean by that is, you know, I'm mainly basing this off of the S&Ps. You know, this morning Dow was up 150, it closed down 50. The S&Ps were up like 20, it closed like, you know, down 4. NASDAQ actually closed up today like $20, but it was up a lot more. And it seems like, you know, the election news and all that stuff was very short-lived, obviously, and the Bears just kind of, every time, it looked like on the chart today, every time that the Bulls tried to take over, the Bears just kind of rushed in and just pounded them to death. And as you can see, like right here, like 28-10, 28-15, really like looking to see if there's like a double top forming here, and this could be a potential like long-term double top too, or right here also like the 2800 mark that we hit back here in February. You know, we did bust through that, but it seems like that was very, you know, that only since 2800 it only lasted like 2 months before we broke back below, you know. And then if you're looking at the chart today, you know, we gapped up at open a little bit, like not huge, but you know, there was some fighting for the first 45 minutes of the day. They couldn't pick a direction until it finally ripped down, and then the Bulls started taking control. It went up 35 points from high to low here, so like 27.20 up to 27.55, and then ever since then the Bears just piled in. They tried to recover here and then just pounded them some more and then kind of flattened to close. So, you know, right now, based on the price action, like in 2017 when action was like this, it was the Bulls doing it to the Bears. Like any dips were bought ferociously, and it seems like any rips right now are being shorted and being sold off in this market, especially like people that have bought in the markets like above 2,900 or even above 2,850. A lot of those people right now, I feel, are trying to get out, at least break even, get what they got, you know, take what they can get and move on and then refocus. You know, I've definitely, like for me, since I made so much money the last couple of weeks, I've definitely been slowing down my trades, mainly because I know that the market can't continue like this forever. But the one thing that I do like as like an options trader is that the two-sided action is real. Like right now, this market right here is the market for the options trader. This is what you were hoping to trade on. Like this right here. It's scary, yes, but that's why you trade small. Like I don't trade very big. I've been trading 1 to 2 contracts, like, you know, per account, and really just kind of keeping it slow. You know, you don't want to go in too big. You don't want to do like $1,000 trades, $500 trades, and go all in. Because if you're wrong, you know, like look at Amazon today. Look at the chop on Amazon today. If you were trading this, you know, it's very hard to trade charts like this, you know, because you're right 1 minute and then the next minute you're wrong, then you're right again, and by the time that you really focus on what you're doing, that's why I've been buying stuff that's not this week, but I've been buying stuff 15 days out, 30 days out, and you know, we can talk about why I'm buying premium versus selling premium, but you know, this right here, let's say you bought calls right in here at 1640, you felt pretty good when it ripped up, and if you didn't sell, you're feeling pretty terrible right now, because then also you're losing due to theta time, and it just came back down to where you bought and actually ended up lower on the day, down in the low 1630s. So you actually definitely down money on that, you know. So it's definitely very choppy. You know, look at JD here as well. JD, you know, ripped up, rip down, rip up, rip down. I mean, so just be careful with the choppiness, because the choppiness could definitely trick you out, you know. So, you know, that's really what I wanted to kind of cover over this video. Hamed wanted to buy calls on BBUI, but premium was rich. Didn't Best Buy get downgraded? Is that what happened there? I heard they got downgraded. Yeah. IV. It's a lot. Let's see here. They got earnings on November. They got earnings on November 20th. So, just got to keep that in mind. Probably why IV is so high right now. Yeah. So like for me, for Best Buy, if I was going to trade Best Buy, it'd probably be something that I would trade after earnings, especially when buying. And I wouldn't be a premium seller for me personally in this because it looks like the moves can go beyond the expected move. It's saying, it's going to be $6 by next week, only $2, like $2 this week. And, it's dropped from 73 down to 66 in 3 days. So, it's definitely moving beyond the expected move. So you got to be careful. Hamed, Bears are definitely in the control. Browsy, the choppiness is what wrecked me all week. Yeah. I mean, like in this market, you really have to have like longer term goals, I feel, and then trade smaller, but have more occurrences. Like last Thursday, I had like 12 to 13 positions on, which for me is a lot of positions. I was looking to unload them, and then I finally sold them off on Friday. I sold half my positions, and then on Monday, I sold another half because they finally kind of, they kind of came about. They met my trading goals. They came to fruition. I took my profits, and now I'm really left with just a couple positions. I did three new positions a day, but I still have the Starbucks strangle. Hopefully it would break below 67, and then JD I'm down a little bit because I'm down $19. It's really between I have the 22.50 call and the 22 put, so it's really just stuck in the middle. So Theta's just kind of eating that up. So we'll see what happens to that. If not, I'm probably going to cut this tomorrow for a small loser just to get rid of it, because I try to cut, for things that are expiring on Friday, I try to cut them by Wednesday at the latest. If I have to, Thursday. It's rare that I'll hold them into expiration Friday, because most times if expiration Friday is flat, you're going to get real screwed. So what turns out to be a 50% loser turns out to be a 100% loser on a Friday that's flat. We haven't had a flat Friday in a while, but they used like over the summer they would do it all the time. They would open up Friday just flat and just crush everything. So I don't know if there was a lot of you were here for that, but I had like 4 or 5 losing Fridays in a row. So So my answer to that was just to readjust my strategy a little bit. Tesla basically did nothing. Yeah, Tesla is another one that I made some money on earlier on the week. I'm actually hoping it revisits the 350 area, and then I'll probably put another short position on it on Tesla. If we can get above 350, I would be happy to short again. But realistically, when I had my initial position on, I closed it out yesterday on this big red candle. I think that's going to visit like 320, 315. It seems like the 320, 315 area. And then if it breaks through that, it likes to go to like 300 down to 290. So wide range. Mateo can't be feeling that bad. Coke's back. Coke is back. Browsy, what are your thoughts on Apple? So let's go back to my thoughts on Apple at earnings. So you can look at the video. Before they released earnings, I told you guys it was very important for them to meet their shipping goals on the new phones. So they had a big release. So in September, they released the iPhone XX, the iPhone XX Max, and it's great. Product's great. I bought an XS. Love it. It's great. But, they made money, of course. Apple posts profits pretty regularly every quarter. They missed 1 or 2 in the last 13 years, something like that. The shipping, they want to know how many people are buying new phones or how many people are upgrading, and they missed those goals, and then they said that they're not going to be including those numbers in the future in the earnings reports because they think it doesn't reflect their current state of business, which they're trying to align themselves as a service business. They're a hardware business right now, but they're trying to align their services, iCloud storage, their streaming that's going to come up, stuff like that. So, and also their iPad numbers and their iPhone numbers have not been impressive. I mean, they're impressive in terms of how many people are buying them. I mean, they're selling millions and millions and millions of phones, but they're not reaching the goals that Wall Street has set for them. So they're not going to give them those numbers anymore. And right now, what I think is just coming, like I said, I really like the 190 number. If it comes down to 190, 188 to 192, which we did hit that, if it consolidates in there, I definitely would like to put a position on. If not, it has some areas down here like the 150s, but I like this like 190 area. If we can kind of consolidate in here like it did back in July, June, down in this area, and then it moved up, but there really wasn't like much support in here, and with their earnings, they've been downgrading it. So I really like, honestly, I like the 190-ish area, but it needs to hold. So in terms of, I don't know, in terms of the market, obviously we don't know where the market's going, what news can impact it. Like, God forbid, but maybe somebody starts a war somewhere and then the stock market goes crazy. I mean, crazy things happen in the stock market. So you just got to be prepared and make sure you have enough money in your account to play like defense. So if the position does go against you, how are you gonna fight back? You don't want to just take the L. Like, nobody just wants to take the L. Like, trading is not about just putting a position on, taking a loser off, putting a position on, taking a loser off. Like, what you want to do is put the position on. Like, most times that position is going to go against you. It's about how you're going to balance out your portfolio and how you're going to get back that money, or how you're going to win. The market wants to bleed your accounts out to zero. I've said this many times. The market's job, the person on the other side of the trade, the people trading against you, they want to take your accounts down to zero. And at the same time, you want to make money. So it can't go both ways. So you just got to fight it out. Play some defense. Are you still posting live trades at Facebook? Could you be held liable if it takes more than 30 minutes for a trade setup? Don't give your brains so does brain damage. I don't know what you mean. I do post my trades on Facebook. I don't know what you're talking about, Joe. William is late. Well, glad you're here. All those people that I know there's a bunch of people right now that are watching that aren't able to comment because they're just streaming it and they're driving, so be safe. But I definitely appreciate you here. What else are we going on here? What do you guys want to talk about? Anything we want to look at here? We did look at USO. We looked at GE. We looked at Baba. We looked at Apple. We looked at the S&Ps. Let's take in some requests. See what people are doing. I know that we talked about American Airlines yesterday. I was looking for a trade in here, but I really want to come back down to like 36. But it looks like it wants to go back up to like the 40 range. Netflix. Okay, FC and Manny with Netflix. Yeah, Netflix is definitely a tough one, and it looks like, based on the chart here, obviously, I think it's easier for Netflix to, if you look at like the 2-year chart, because if you look at, we'll kind of get some history here to understand what's going on here. If you think about this, in 2017, it went from like the 90s all the way up to $200 a share. I mean, it went up over 100% in 2017. So just dwell on that for a second. Like, Netflix didn't do anything special. They didn't have, they had some good earnings and stuff. But in terms of the company, they didn't do anything innovative. They had some bad quarters. They had some good quarters. But they went pretty much straight up and volatility was super low. Now we're in a market where volatility is back, and it doesn't look like it's going to be going away, which is good. But right now, since hitting 423, the highs keep getting lower. We kind of try to break out here at the 380s, but double topped up here and just been breaking down. So, in terms of like a bottom for Netflix, I would like to buy some Netflix shares, but I think we're far from the bottom on this. Like, Netflix, they're a great company. They're reaching millions of people. They have a lot of subscribers. But their debt load and the amount they're spending for content, it doesn't make me feel very, very good as like if I was going to purchase stock there. So, you know, for options though, you know, for options on this, I would probably be leaning towards like more bearish strangles than anything else. Like any rips, kind of what the market is saying right now. Any rips, any up days like we had up here, you might feel some pain, but short him and you'll be rewarded. Like from down here, if you shorted up in here, you would have felt some pain, obviously, but you would have been rewarded eventually. So, you know, right now, I think in terms of Netflix, is a lot like the rest of the market. Like, you really need to give it time to work out, especially like on short positions. Like, short positions go fast when they happen, but they could try to bleed you out, and the market will try to bleed you out. Hornet Gamer, what's up? Glad you can make it. Okay. Baron, we're going to go in order. Baron said BAC. I was actually thinking about the banks, and BAC looks like it kind of got rejected here at 29. Probably, you know, if we're having some bearish momentum, wouldn't be surprised if we hit the 26s down here. Would be nice before going long again. But, I mean, there's not like a humongous amount of support here. Let's go to... Yeah, I mean, all the 1 year, at this point, all the 1 year charts are broken. So, okay, so it's bounced a couple times, but not, yeah, there's some support in the 25 areas, but bigger support down at 22 where it's bounced like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So when things get bad, I think that that's going to revisit like the 22 area. AMD, Dorian, we did talk about BBY already. AMD, I actually haven't traded. It was going to try to fill this gap, and it just didn't. You know, for me, I like we talked about before. You know, down here in the 16s, actual support. So, you know, I would probably, depending on how much these cost, I don't know how much AMD is up these days, because it's been probably like a week or so. Probably looking at next week. It's currently at 1961. I would probably, like, if it were me, I don't know why there's no 18. I would have liked to buy the 18 if it was here, but I could do the 1850. And then to kind of protect yourself, you probably want to buy like the 22. You know, this would probably be a good trade for me. I actually might even trade this. Gives you some good time, good movement, you know. Unless, of course, it just consolidates here, which it could as well. So it could also just consolidate here and just crush your premium. So, you know, depending on where we open tomorrow and where we're going, looks like it might want to consolidate in this area, but it could also come back down, revisit the 16s very, very easily. What about Verizon? Tobin. Stock is going up and down all day. Oops, VZ. Yeah, I mean, this one's a tough one to trade because you're at the 52-week highs here, and you're really just not going anywhere. In this type of scenario, I mean, it's more likely to go down than up, but it's kind of like Starbucks, you know. I mean, there's no support until you get down to like the 54, 53 area. So like right now, that's why it's kind of scary to trade, especially like when you're going long or short. I mean, yes, it's been ripping up in these down markets, so you kind of have to think like we've been having some major down days, and Verizon's been ripping, hasn't even made a dent on this overall trajectory. But then you have to kind of think like there's no support up in here. You know, when if someone big decides to sell, I mean, it's gonna tank. So, you know, kind of the same with like Starbucks that I've been trading. You know, it ripped in these down days, but now we're kind of having this downward momentum where it's probably going to revisit the 60s or at least 62 or 65 area. Hopefully sooner than later because I got the 67 puts. What else we got? NVIDIA. Let's see, McDonald's. How about Trader Donkey? What's going on? I don't think I've seen you here before. Welcome. Yeah, I mean, McDonald's is another one. The thing is, they have a pretty good catalyst where they had really good earnings. Um, but I would like to see it come back down to 174. And when I say this, it's when I say like what I'd like it to happen, it's from like a long perspective. So on the stock market in general, I'm bullish. I think that we're going. Obviously, over time we go up. The charts are undeniable if you look at the stock market as a whole in terms of American history. But it's okay to be short-term bearish as well. So, I would like it, and that kind of gives you a nice setup. I'd like to come down to 175 or even like 165. But looks like it could settle down here like in the 170 area like it did back in the beginning of the year. This is in January and December of 2017, so January 2018, before things really just kind of fell apart for it. Hit a low of 146. But it's really catching some momentum here. But I would definitely like to see some pullback. The thing with McDonald's though, it seems to move slow until it doesn't. So when trading it, I would like to put a position on when probably like a day what today was actually a really good day to put a position on when it's really relatively flat, or even yesterday was a bigger day. Probably 2 days ago on the 8th was a flat day. That way you can really take advantage of those premium crushes there. NVIDIA. I got 54 people here watching. I definitely want to appreciate you guys. Definitely appreciate you guys. If it's your first time here, say what up. I like to meet everybody. If you haven't yet subscribed, hit the subscribe button. NVIDIA, browsing. Yeah, NVIDIA. So NVIDIA, I saw a article about NVIDIA today, and I try not to spend too much time looking at articles. I mostly look at upgrades and downgrades. I don't try to. I'm more of a chart trader than like a news trader, if that makes sense. I don't like trading the news. I more just try to trade the charts, and I more try to concentrate on the numbers. And in this, they're having some, from what I understand, NVIDIA is having some tough times in terms of what their future and guidance is. Right down here, the 190s is actually pretty nice, But NVIDIA, it's hard for NVIDIA because they went up so much last year. I mean, it was an $80 stock. And the reason why, if we go down, okay, it's gone from, in the last 3 years, went from 24 to 190 to 292. It's already down $100 since October. And if you think about it, the reason why people were so bullish on NVIDIA was because of the crypto market. And now that people aren't that invested or really care about the crypto market, this is starting to take an impact. So they were really bullish because they're saying, oh, everyone's going to be using NVIDIA to mine and do all this stuff. And now that crypto is not really being highlighted as much as it was back in like 2017, I think that they're coming to the realization that maybe NVIDIA isn't as the future isn't as bright as it was with crypto. So, in terms of a chart, though, I do like to trade when stocks are at like 52-week lows or 52-week highs, just because it's tend to rip higher or definitely lower. There's good chances here. We've had some crazy volatility here. NVIDIA, they have earnings. Well, they got earnings today, tomorrow. I hate on Tasterworks you can't see the date there, like when it's like really close. They got earnings November 15th, so in 2 days. So I think that depending on what that earnings is, I would definitely pay attention to that earnings and see what they say about guidance. If the guidance is lower, if they're saying we're expecting lower guidance over the next couple quarters, I would definitely short that thing for, probably will short it. More on GE. Do not enter the short term until GE sees 905 plus. We'll try to get her done. I'm actually hoping GE goes back up to 10 so I can short some more. You know, the drop from 10 to 8 was great, and like I was telling Brian Kim in our options trading group that I would like for it to establish a range between 8 and 10, because basically if it goes from 8 to 10 and we know the range, we could basically, as options traders, we could basically be making money for the foreseeable future. It'd be a nice little cash cow there, kind of like Alibaba is to me right now. GE would be a nice addition if it was trading between 8 and 10. The only thing I don't like about GE is you got to buy a lot of contracts. It costs you more in commissions than it would like trading a higher price stock. So that kind of gets to you. But the gains are pretty good. I mean, we're seeing like 400, 500% returns on it. So, did we ever go over the possibility of USO bouncing already? Yeah, I was saying that I think that it's going to probably go around like low 11s to the 10s. I think it's going to cut through 11 and probably settle in around the 10s, but oil needs a catalyst for it to go up. Right now, there's no catalyst. Joe. Joe, I'm good. I'm good with shorting McDonald's, but the chart and the data has to set me up, man. Talked about MGNA. Ed, what's going on? Yeah, Ed, NVIDIA options are expensive right now because of earnings and the volatility. MGNA, let's take a look. MG, was that a typo? Oh, there's no. Traded Facebook, I was drawn to a put. Hornet Gamer. Let's take a look at this. Yeah, Facebook's another one. I mean, Facebook's facing a lot of just bad publicity, and Joe, like Joe was saying, we talked about it yesterday, is that there's like a lot of bad press going on about it, that the younger generation is leaving Facebook behind. It's right now sitting at 52-week lows. I mean, the low was 139. I do like the setup down here. And I'll probably be looking at a trade on it tomorrow. But at the same time, I don't know, Facebook doesn't have a catalyst for it to move higher right now. They're not doing anything except for maintaining, selling more ads, and just, So for now, like, I'm kind of bearish on Facebook. It had this great run, and, they're just not growing. Like we talked about, like, they have like 3 billion people signed up, and there's only 7 billion on the people on the planet, and they have to convince like third world countries and stuff that don't have internet to use it, and it's getting increasingly hard for them. They got to innovate. They got to push out new platforms. They got to do something. They have to do something. What do you think about Richard? What do you think about WLL? Yeah, I mean, I think any oil or anything related to oil right now is just, I mean, you're just got to be shorting. I mean, if oil needs to consolidate. It's not the same. It's not the same anymore. They try with Facebook gaming. Yeah, there's. I would say, like, with Facebook gaming though. They are pushing. I'm guessing Hornet Gamer, you're a gamer. I do watch some gaming on Facebook, and they do push people there, but especially to like newer gamers or newer streamers, but they don't have as wide an audience as YouTube gaming or Twitch. However, it is a lot harder now that Twitch is more well known to get noticed on Twitch. They don't really their algorithm doesn't really work that way. It's definitely easier for new streamers to get started out on Facebook right now in the streaming world. In terms of YouTube, a lot of people are watching gaming on YouTube, so they have a way bigger scope. Ashton, we did talk about Starbucks, and I was saying I was saying that I think that it's going to probably revisit 62 or 60 at least. You know, I guess it depends on how violent the market is going to be over the next few days too. I mean, Starbucks had great earnings, so don't get me wrong, they had great earnings, but at the same time, it's either going to consolidate up here or it's going to drop back down. You just can't keep going up into like oblivion. You know, you just can't do that. Tobin, what do you think about EA? In terms of their business practices, terrible. But in terms of the way they distribute games, terrible. I know that they're having some issues with their Battlefield game and their Battle Royale and all that. And, you know, the stock is also reflecting that as well. You know, the 1 year chart is officially broken. We go down to the 2 year chart. You know, seems like down here there is some support, so it's going to be interesting here. I would probably, like for me, I would probably put a strangle on this. EA. You know, IV rank is a little relatively low, so you can get some pretty good deals. I mean, the range for next week is 451. Only moved 27 cents today. So if it consolidates in here in this area, it'd be good. Because the IV crush will come, then you could put on another trade on it. But it looks like down here there is some support where it's at right now. I guess I wouldn't, like for me, I wouldn't rush into it, but it'd be something that I would keep an eye on. Definitely a trade. Like this is a chart setup that I do like, but in terms of if it's going to stay here or go lower, I'd like to see a little bit more data. Jeff, what's up? Yeah, Diablo Immortal was a big loss in them. Even got booed at BlizzCon. Yeah, I mean, so like, you know, and right now we're in terms of gaming, we're in a pretty interesting state where the underdog Fortnite is now the most popular game in the world, and it was kind of the same thing back in when the iPhone came out. Think about it, Angry Birds. You know, we had Rovio, we had Zynga. And all these like mobile games were dethroning consoles, and it's really kind of the same thing where a new game and new industry is being created. And what EA and all these people are finding out is you can't do the same game year after year after year after year and just milk the money that way. You have to innovate. You have to innovate. Are you trying to apply fundamentals to the charts now? What's going to be the next must-have gift item? People seeking out the next 2 days for those Starbucks. Well, Maureen, I hope they sell on Friday because I'm chilling. I think it's gonna, Maureen. I think it's gonna have, you know, the market's going to, for Starbucks. I think it's gonna, for these people, it's definitely gonna be tough for them to hold. Unless we have some ripping green days, but right now there's not really a reason to be green. And even when they had the chance today, even when the Bulls had the chance, kind of what our video is about today, even when the Bulls had the chance today, they just, you know, crapped the bed. So W is pretty wild right now. William. Wayfair. Actually, I'm going to trade this. Yeah, typically, like I told you guys before, that I typically don't trade low volume stocks like this. You know, there's only 24 of these traded, these calls, only single digits on some of these. So, especially, and then the bid and the ask is 50 cents. So it definitely makes it hard to get in or out of these trades, and with a profit at least, or even worth your time. Like if I'm going to risk my capital, I want it to be worth my time and my money putting it in there. But in terms of a chart, I mean, it looks like it wants to balance out here at like 90 area. ATVI, yeah, Hornet. Yeah, I mean, it just got destroyed. I don't know what the expected moves are now, you know, after these earnings here. What it's going to do. I mean, it moved $1 today. It's a $50 stock. It's saying it wants to move $1.73 this week for 3 days, and next week it's going to be a $2.76 move. So I definitely think it could move more than $2 next week. Let's see what after hours Tastyworks isn't that good. You got to move over to Thinkorswim. Okay, so this week $2, next week $3. Like that's actually probably underpricing it a little bit. $3. If it's thinking it's going to move $2 in the next 3 days, and $3 in the next 10 days, I would probably pick the 23rd. The one thing that you got to be careful about next week is Thanksgiving, the holiday. Things are going to be moving a little bit slower. Also, ATVI. Let's see for this week. Yeah, ATVI next week is also pretty low volume as well. What? John, I don't even know what you're talking about. All right, we're coming up on 50 minutes. We got about 10 minutes left in the stream. If you guys want to talk about any other stocks, let me know. Kind of my setup for tomorrow. We'll get into that. We're going to be seeing if we're going to have a down day or not. My goals tomorrow will be closing out stuff this week. So I want to be closing out Alibaba. I want to close out Microsoft. I'll hopefully close out Starbucks. USO, we got some time on. I actually have no idea when it will get to 11. I mean, today it dropped 79 cents, which was like the worst day it's had in what, how many years? Anyways, so if this goes back down to 11, I don't know if it's going to accelerate or if it's going to stop. But I'll be trying to we got 17 days on this, but I'll be trying to get some. We're at 50% on this right now. I'll be trying to get 100 to 200% on it. Probably just 100. Try not to push it. Hornet Gamer, take it easy. William, I'm going deer hunting next week, so I have to make all that money this week. Yeah, and that's what I mean. It's gonna be some like low volume. You're gonna have less time to trade next week. Yeah, I mean, if this video was of value to you, hit that like button. Definitely appreciate it. I mean, we had a lot of people in here today. I feel like we had a lot of new faces. Oh, also JD, I want to close out as well. Right now it's at $19. Tomorrow, if we're down a little or up a little, I'll probably close it out too. Not worth taking into Expiration Friday. And I actually made a mistake. I thought earnings were this week, and actually earnings are next week. So I don't want to leave this on. So that was a mistake on my part. I did have a really tight strangle on it. A 50-cent wide strangle. I have the 22 puts, 22.50 calls, but I don't want to take a chance of losing. So, all right, Joe's got the numbers on USO. Appreciate you. So, anyways, guys, like I said, if this video was of value to you, hit that like button. If it's your first time here, say what up. If you're not yet a member of our free options trading group, the link is below. And if you want to get notifications from when we go live or post videos, push that bell button. Definitely great rocking with you guys today. Y'all have a good one.